Welcome back, everyone, to Highlighted, an all sports culture podcast. Sam, Sully, Kurt, trio is here. Very special episode for you guys today.
Where's your suit, man?
I completely forgot about
right.
that.
This is why I get dressed up. Show a little knit. I gotta censor that.
I got a Taylor Heineke shirt. Is that
that
good?
Sucks.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, very special episode for you guys today. Not only is the NFL season coming up, even though this has nothing to do with the podcast, but college football starts today. In 2 days, App State's going to get the biggest win of their whole entire history. It's going to be a great weekend, great day. But we got NFL coming up in a week. We're going to do some NFL record predictions. We'll be doing some awards at the end. Probably going to be a little bit of a lengthy episode as last year when we did this, one of our longer episodes. But hey, that's the beauty of this episode. We are the best in-depth analysis NFL analysts out there. So we're going to be talking a little bit about, probably going to go division by division. We'll each kind of give our rec predictions, say a little bit about each team. Some teams will spend more time than others. But we good? We ready to get right into it, boys?
Great.
No time to waste. Let's just rip into it.
Where do we want to start? What division do we want to start?
AFC East.
AFC East works with me.
All right.
All right. I'll go first. I will go first. Do we want to go bottom to first or first to bottom?
Bottom to first. Yeah, bottom to first.
In last place in the AFC East, I have the New York Jets finishing with a 5-12 record. The New York Jets did a little bit to get better this offseason. Obviously, they had 2 top 10 picks. Sauce Gardner, with everything you've been hearing in the NFL draft, preseason, has looked the part of a 4th overall pick. He's looked fantastic. And then Garrett Wilson slides into a wide receiver spot. But obviously, Zach Wilson will be missing some time. When you have Joe Flacco as your starting quarterback, how good is the team really going to be? From a roster standpoint, it's really not that good still. And then AFC East that could make noise with the other 3 teams. I just don't see them really making a lot of noise. 5-12.
I got them 5-12 as well. Not much to explain here. That does hit the win total though. Their win total is 4.5. So, I actually think it's a decent bet. I think the Jets are okay. The Jets had the most players claimed out of any team in the NFL yesterday, which is interesting.
That is.
But yeah, I think they're okay. But yeah, it's the Jets. They don't really have, even if Zach Wilson is healthy and comes back, I don't think he's going to be incredible. I do think he's talented, but he has some flaws that he's got to work out. I think 5-12 is right on the head for this team.
Yeah, I got him at 4-13. Just this team, it's already getting hit with injuries. Zach Wilson, obviously, Mekhi Becton's hurt. There's still very big gaping holes on this roster that they need to fix.
You never want gaping holes.
Not at all.
Never gaping.
Never. But they do have a lot of strong spots as well. I mean, the receiving core is pretty good. Running back is a strength. The defensive line is most certainly a strength. But everywhere else could use some work. And that's why I'm kind of holding out. I think they're at least a year away from really doing anything. But yeah, I got my 4-13.
Did we talk about Denzel Mims already? How he requested a trade and then went for 200 yards.
Completely unrelated, guys, but Donovan Mitchell just got traded to the Cavs.
Really?
Yeah. Shit. So he's not a Knick.
Live reaction.
What did they trade for him?
See, that's how much I care about the NBA. I literally didn't react. I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, I actually like Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Him with Garland is interesting.
What happened to Sexton?
He's probably getting traded in this
Sexland.
If they gave up like Evan Mobley's worth more than Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. I wouldn't have done that. It's probably like Colin Sexton and a zillion picks.
Kevin Love in a second. Not good.
Imagine. Kevin Love's probably in it for salary.
I don't know.
All right. Well, this is an NFL pod. Fuck the NBA. Yeah, we hate it.
NBA sucks.
Who do you guys have in third?
I have the New England Patriots in third at 8-9, which Yeah, I mean, I think that the Patriots. I'm not a Mac Jones guy. I also think the Patriots. I hate paying. It makes me cringe when NFL teams pay like average guys a lot of money. It just pisses me off. It's like a pet peeve of mine. So that the Patriots are literally the epitome of that in the NFL, in my opinion, on the offensive side of the ball. They're literally every skill position they have is like the epitome of overpaid, in my opinion. They have the 2 tight ends overpaid, Kendrick Bourne overpaid. Who else? They have Nelson Aguilar overpaid. They're all like okay, they're fine players. But I just think they're overpaid, and that kind of pisses me off. Obviously, I still think Bill Belichick is, he may have taken a little bit of a step down, but I still think, he's obviously in the conversation for best coach in the league still. I don't love the situation they have with like the play calling. I mean, if it is Patricia, I don't understand how that even makes sense. So I think that hurts you a little bit on top of the fact that you have Mac. Mac's all right. Like he can win you 8 games. So the Patriots are like, they're okay. Solid roster. I think 8 games is fine. It's not a bad team, but I think it's like a decently tough division. Obviously, I think the Dolphins have a very talented roster. The Bills are probably the best team in the league. They're up there. So 8 and 9, I think is, this is an average football team.
I'm gonna need a big year to Mac. He's my super flex quarterback.
I think that's okay.
Yeah. And I love the skill position players on my team. So we're banking on him to have a solid year. I have him at 7 and 10. I won't go into like too much detail because you kind of alluded to a lot of it already, Sully. We'll see how Cole Strange does to that offensive line. Obviously they overdrafted the fuck out of him. He'll slide into the left guard spot. But yeah, it all really depends on how Mac does. And I don't think any of us think he's going to have like a top 10 season. Now, he's not going to have like a bottom 5, probably even bottom 10 quarterback season, but he'll be around that average mark. And that's just not enough to win you enough games to make the playoffs. So I have him at 7 and 10.
I also have him at 7 and 10. I kind of talked about this last week on our like buy and sell players pod. I had Mac Jones as my sell, and the reason being is I just don't trust this offense. I think it's going to be a rough, like a dog, but not in a good way, unit. I just think Mac is prime regression candidate, sophomore slump idea, and this defense just lost pieces. The Patriots team just got worse, and they're one of 2 teams in the league that I think clearly got worse this offseason. That you can make the argument that they are clearly worse. But yeah, so I got them at 7 and 10.
All right. Dolphins. I have them next.
Whoa.
Is it your turn?
I'm saying, you think I have Dolphins in second?
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I have the Dolphins in second. I have Dolphins at 9 and 8.
I
Me
do
too.
as well.
All right.
Wow, we're all so smart.
Wait, this happens every year, dude.
Yeah.
I actually
wait till we get to AFC East though is like
AFC East is one of the more predictable divisions. Yeah. I think a lot of people might actually have the Patriots over the. Well, we kind of hate Dolphins, and we still all have the Dolphins, so maybe. Well, we don't hate the Dolphins. We just hate Tua.
Way better.
We just hate Tua, yeah.
Yeah.
The Dolphins roster.
No, but can you imagine if, like, even if, I don't know, if the Dolphins had like a really solid, like a Kirk Cousins at quarterback, I'd give him like 11 or 12 wins.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean,
their offensive line wasn't also the worst thing ever with Toronto instead. It would help, but Tua is still behind garbage.
They still got a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their defense is still going to be awesome, though.
Javon Holland.
Yeah.
Well, stock.
Yeah.
And then you've got the new Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I mean, if you've got those guys at receiver, you just have to expect that offense to somewhat be functional. Because defenses just don't know what to do, man.
The good thing is Tua only needs to throw the ball 6 yards and they'll score. So
exactly,
that's the good thing about having the fastest wide receivers in the league. All right, first seed or winning the AFC East, I should say, or maybe the first seed in the AFC. I don't know.
We'll see at the end.
I have the Bills at 14-3.
I have the Bills at 13-4.
I have the Bills at 13-4. I don't think there's.
It's not much to say. Bills are,
amazing.
I think, favored to win the Super Bowl this year. Very good roster, headlined by the best young quarterback. Well, maybe him and Mahomes, best young quarterbacks, and Herbert in the league. They got a lot of weapons. It should be good.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. You want to do NFC or do you want to just finish the AFC?
Let's finish the AFC. That's what I think.
All right. I think mine is in order based on the seeds that I have. I don't know if this is what you guys have. I have the AFC South next.
It doesn't matter.
Mine is just on the left and the right. I don't know.
Yeah. So is mine, but I have the AFC South. Is that what you guys have?
So you have it like. I see what you're saying. You have it like as the best team.
Yeah, my 2 seed is in the AFC South, so I think it ordered them like that.
Oh,
yeah,
the divisions.
Okay.
Well, let's just do.
Oh, I think it did that for me too.
You want to just do the AFC South?
Sure, AFC South.
All right. Sure. In last, I have the Texans at 3-14.
Me too.
I have them at 4-13.
Okay.
I think Mills is fucking horrible. I just want people to understand that.
I don't know if I agree with that.
He's not going to have a good year. And they'll be drafting number 2 in the NFL draft, and they will be getting CJ Stroud or Bryce.
Well, I think that's very possible. I think Davis Mills is kind of like he's like a Gardner Minshew a little bit. I think he's like all right, but he's just going to be passed along because who cares about all right?
It's fine.
So, but yeah, they suck.
You guys buying into the Damien Pierce hype on fantasy football?
Yes.
I am a little bit. That guy looks pretty good.
Yeah.
He's on a horrible team, which sucks because I don't know if he's really going to be the pass catcher. They have Rex Burkhead, but
he's getting he's getting drafted as high as 6th round, and I'm like, that's a little too much.
I mean, if you can get no matter what you think of his ability, if you can get a starting running back in the 6th round, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but you also have to understand it's arguably the worst offensive line. It's playing on a horrible offense.
Yeah, they're going to be losing every single game. How much are they going to run?
You're obviously going to run to the games where they put up 6 points and he'll only have 4 points.
I think the craziest part about it is Lovie Smith is a head coach at the NFL.
It's unbelievable.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I forgot about that for a little bit. I was at the bar the other night and the Texans were on and it cut to Lovie Smith. He literally looks like Santa.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, what? Dude, am I living in 2006? What's going on?
The worst part about it is his previous team at Illinois, when he was the head coach, he fucking sucked. It wasn't even like he was a good college coach too. So I'm like, where's the logic? They're obviously trying to get a high character coach to lead a team, but he also fucking sucks. So
yeah,
they just had David Culley, who literally was a high character coach last year that the players apparently loved.
My team sucks. I'm getting a young guy that's fucking, innovating something.
Yeah.
Doing something that no one else is doing. I don't know. Not a fucking Lovie Smith. All right. In third, I have the Jaguars. Assume most of all of us do. I have them at 6-11, which might be kind of high.
I have them at 6-11 too.
Okay. I have them at 7-10.
Okay. I kind of wanted to put them higher than 6-11. Obviously, the way I did my game picks, they came out 6-11. But I think the Jaguars will be all right.
Same. I think they'll be all right.
They have Christian Kirk, which is once again an average player that's overpaid. Even though I vouched for him, it still pisses me off.
I think we all agree that when you see the head coaching changes from last year to this year, the most evidence can be the Jaguars with Doug Peterson from Urban Meyer. Even not just from a playing standpoint, but I think you're going to hear
some stability.
Yeah, and I'll guarantee you so many players just vouch how much they love him. The difference between last year and this year. Part of the reason is Urban Meyer probably had as bad as a head coaching reign as you could think of, but Doug Peterson, I think, was the perfect hire to bring in after an experience like that. So 6 wins, 7 wins. I think Trevor will have a much better sophomore year. I think we all agree on that.
Oh,
yeah. I'm basically just banking on Trevor taking that next step and jumping into that top 12 quarterback range.
Whoa, that's a big step.
I mean, he just has to be better than Derek Carr or
You think he'd be better than Derek Carr this year?
Derek Carr's a stud.
Derek Carr's pretty good.
I'm just saying you get in that range.
Derek Carr's
he can be better than.
MVP
I think he's already the second best quarterback in that division. No question.
Not right now, but he will be.
I think it's by week 5, everyone will agree he will be.
I'd like to hope. That's a big turnaround though. Last year he was horrible.
Yeah, but he also was in the worst situation you could ever think of for a young quarterback.
I mean, I'd like to think so. I like Trevor.
Is there any other situation that you could think of in the past few years that has been worse than what the Jaguars were last year?
Every single day on the Giants. No, I'm kidding. I'm playing.
I mean, yeah, they're obviously the Jaguars are up there.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything else? Moving on.
No.
Titans. I have the Titans.
I do as well.
Okay.
I got
them
at
at 8-9.
7-10.
I have them at 9-8.
Surprising.
That might change because Harold Landry just tore his ACL 5 minutes before we started recording.
Yeah.
And he's one of their best players on defense, top 3, with Jeffrey Simmons and Kevin Byard. But I mean, this team under Mike Vrabel, this team has always been decent at minimum. They always are. They're like Mike Tomlin. They always somehow find a way to win games. And I'm just not going to push off of that notion. And I'm going to put them at 9-8, the 8-9, 9-8 range. I still think their defense is going to be solid. I think their offense will be capable. And that'll win them enough games to fight for a wild card spot.
I just don't think they're that good. I mean, 7 wins. I think a lot of that has to do with we've seen what Vrabel has done in the past with this team. But we already talked about it a lot of times on this pod. You lose A.J. Brown and you obviously bring in Treylon Burks, and that's not a good substitution. They're really going to have no threats on that offense. Obviously, Derrick Henry is going to have a lot of the production, as he should. I mean, he's going to get 35 carries a game. But at some point, how much is that going to add up? And we all don't think that Ryan Tannehill is that good after last year, and especially after that performance against Cincinnati. He's just probably not going to be the guy, and it'll be intriguing to see what Tennessee does in the future with Ryan Tannehill. I think the Colts are comfortably going to win this division. You'll see you'll see like the gap I have between the win total and like a second. But even so, like I think when you get to like the midway 3/4 mark, they're going to be comfortably in the driving seat to win the division. Yeah. And it won't even have to take a lot of wins. I think at 9 wins, you're good.
I got them better than that. I'd probably have the Colts highest.
Me too. I'm just saying, like,
I think I have the Colts highest out of everyone here.
Really?
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you got them at?
Yeah.
I got them at 12-5.
That's what I got them at.
I got them at 10-7.
That's what I thought you guys would have them at.
You just said that you thought you had them at the highest, but now that you and me have the same.
I know. I thought both of you would have them around 10 wins.
Oh, gotcha.
I thought 12-5 would be a little high, but
this team is great.
You want to explain?
This team is great.
The Colts have been the same thing for like the past 3 years. They've been a very good team that has like a mediocre quarterback, and that's obviously holding them back, but they always get around, 8, 9, 10 wins. They're always like right there. And I think you add in a guy like Matt Ryan, who's obviously at the end of his career, but I still think he has, 2 years left of like good football. And I mean, this is the best team he's played with in the last, in a decent amount of time. So I think that they can, get over that hump of, that 9-win range. And I think that I also think it's a very weak division, which is going to help them. I have them going 5-1 in the division. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year for the Colts. You got all the pieces, man.
I'm not as high on Matt Ryan as I think you guys are. I think he's a solid quarterback. I don't know if he's an upgrade over Wentz there.
Definitely.
No, dude stop.
I'm a Wentz guy, too. I supported Wentz. Matt Ryan's good.
Matt Ryan's fine, but he's not like a substantial.
Fine is such an understatement of how much better Matt Ryan is than Carson.
Matt Ryan's Carson Wentz, he took that roster to the amount of wins that he was like a game manager kind of. Matt Ryan can get you a win or two, in my opinion, more.
I'm saying, one more win. Instead of 9 wins, they'll get 10 this year.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but the Titans are so much worse this year, in my opinion.
It's fair, but I think the Jaguars could get a game off them too, because we think the Jaguars will be a little bit better. So I kind of think it evens it out. I don't know. Colts will be fine. They'll win the division. They'll get the 4 seed with 10 wins, and they'll lose in the first round. That's what's going to happen.
Look, I don't expect them to do anything crazy in the playoffs, but
This offense.
Did you guys do the playoffs, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't. I'll do that in a second.
This offense is going to be good, though. Like, it's not going to be streaky like it was last year where they would go on hot streaks and then absolutely crumble under pressure. It's going to be a lot more sound, a lot more control.
It's very balanced.
Yes, that too. They're actually going to use other parts of the offense that Wentz refused to use, like fucking Nyheim Hines. This receiving core is much better. Michael Pittman, I'm very big on.
Money.
I think he's going to take a big step. Jonathan Taylor, obviously, probably agreed is best running back in the league, top 2, top 3. And then you got a decent to good offensive line with a good quarterback who is looking to rejuvenate his career. And Indy is like the best spot for him to do that. And then you've got a defense that I think is going to be top 10 in the league.
They signed Gilmore, right?
Yeah. So they've got a number 1 corner now after looking for forever. But they've got studs on that defense also. So I think this unit's going to be good. Obviously, they don't have Matt Eberflus anymore. So we'll see how Gus Bradley does with that defense. But Gus Bradley's coordinated good defenses in the past. So I've got confidence in this team. I got them at 12-5. Their schedule also isn't the worst thing ever. So yeah, I mean, Kurt, I have them at the same distance between the Titans as you do. It's just, I guess I like both those teams more.
Sorry, man. I'll forgive you on this one.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough when you're wrong, but
Yeah.
just tried.
Okay.
Except I'm never wrong. So
All right, what do we want to do next?
That schedule's pretty easy, honestly.
AFC North?
I have the AFC North, too.
Let's do the AFC North.
In last, I have a surprising pick. Maybe. I don't know.
You have Pittsburgh?
I got the Browns.
I do too.
Is that surprising?
No.
Okay. All right.
They don't have their quarterback for
I don't know.
almost
Did you
most of the
guys like
season.
plan when you were doing it? Were you thinking that like Watson's going to start the last like 6 games or whatever?
Yes.
Okay. I have them at 5-12.
I do as well.
Yeah. I got
What do you have,
8 and 9.
In last place?
Yeah. It's a
Damn.
good division.
How many wins do you have them getting before Watson comes back?
I had them at 2,
let me
I think,
check.
maybe.
Give me like a minute.
I had them like
because
getting
this app
2.
is 2.
I got them at 2.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Dude, this team, if they
All
they
right,
have
well,
one of
it's
the
not
worst
loading.
D lines in the league.
Once
Interior
Amari Cooper
defensive
pulls his
lines.
hamstring, it's over.
Their receiving
Week 2.
core is horrendous.
Yeah. On the road, it's an L.
Yeah, on
Amari's
the
not
road
gonna
is
do
no
anything.
fine.
Every time they're on the road, they're going to lose early in this season. Do you guys have them beating the Texans when Watson
the
comes
first
back?
game?
I do.
Oh.
I do.
I don't. I have the Texans winning that game.
Is that week 13? I have them winning.
I have the Texans
Got
winning
the
that game.
Browns.
I think the Texans pull that out. I think there's going to be some bad blood between those two teams in that matchup, and I think the Texans just are mentally stronger because they like pray every 5 minutes, so they got to like band together.
You got God on their side.
I have them winning 4 games before he comes back.
Too much.
Okay.
Sorry, Kurt. Too much. But I will say, when I do have Watson come back, I have them ripping off 3 wins against fairly good teams. The Bengals, Ravens, and Saints. So, yeah.
All right. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Who we got in third?
I have the Steelers.
Steelers.
I also have the Steelers at 5-12.
Oh my God.
I got him at 9 and 8.
I also have them at 9 and 8.
You got to realize that
Super
Kenny
Bowl.
Two Gloves is the fucking man, and at some point he's going to come in and save the day.
That's right.
I'm just going to say what everyone's been stating for the last couple of years. Tomlin will find a way to have a winning record with this team. And George Daddy Pickens is the man.
I mean, he's right. I mean, Tomlin finds a way every single time, and that's kind of where I'm at with like Mike Vrabel as well. Even though these teams probably will never be true contenders, they still are competitive as hell. And Tomlin just finds a way every single time we try and count them out. And with the Browns not being so great for most of the season, in my opinion, Steelers capitalize on that.
All right. Second place. Got the Bengals.
I also have the Bengals.
I have the Ravens.
Got the Bengals at 11-6.
Me too.
I have the Ravens at 11-6.
Interesting.
I think a lot of people are using the expression of like they'll go to the Super Bowl hangover and they're not going to bounce back. I personally think another team that went to the Super Bowl won't be bouncing back, that it won't be the Bengals, but we'll get there in a little bit. I don't know. Like the thing with this Bengals team is like I don't really see the reasoning besides everyone just thinks it's Super Bowl hangover for them not to be good, because their whole roster last year was young talent. They got better on the offensive line. They have a better roster. Obviously, we don't think the production of like Jamar Chase will probably be the same because he had an unbelievable rookie year, which he definitely could be similar to what he had last year. Joe Burrow will come back. He's not coming off an injury. He's going to be fully healthy. Like this team is on paper should be just as good, if not better than last year. So I have him at one game better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people are kind of expecting this team to bounce off a little bit, except for the reasoning of they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and you got to take into account that this team was not believed to make a Super Bowl. They won 3 very close games in that playoff run. Very close games. And you got to give them credit that they closed out those games. But they didn't close out the Super Bowl, obviously. This team was not expected to be a Super Bowl contender. The Rams weren't. And the Bengals, I mean, has your opinion really changed on them that much since beginning of February, other than the offensive line turning into an average unit?
No.
Yeah. So like I don't think it's that crazy to expect them being like a regression candidate, but I wouldn't even call it a regression candidate because they're still getting one win better in the column. It's just they're in a tougher division now because the Ravens are back, and I want to talk about the Ravens in a bit because the Ravens are fucking good. But I guess we could debate that with Sully in a sec. The Ravens were in that hunt for the division the entire season with their entire roster hurt. Harbaugh always coaches this team to just excellence. And now they have Lamar Jackson and everyone back. And I just think this team's going to be rolling. Just plain and simple.
Sully?
Yeah. No, I mean, I have the Ravens at 11-6. It's not like I don't think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be great. My thing about the Bengals is, I mean, I think a lot of the reason why people say Super Bowl hangover is because they obviously were not supposed to be good last year, like you said. So a lot of people just jump to the conclusion of like fluke. But I mean, if you look at it this year, I mean, I think that there's no reason they can't have the number one offense in the league. Besides the fact that they run like 4 plays a game. They have, I mean, debatably the best overall skill positions in the league. Their 3 wide receivers are probably the best 3 in the game. Their running back's very, very good. Like you said, they upgraded the lineup a little bit. Joe Burrow coming off a great year, getting another year older, also removed from the ACL injury. That's why I had the Bengals, in first place. I think it's going to be very, very close. All the arguments you made about the Ravens, specifically them getting healthy. I mean, Lamar was literally like basically probably the MVP of the league, at least, top 3 candidate before he got hurt. I think Lamar is going to have a great, great year. They added not many weapons, but I mean, actually, did they even add anyone?
I mean, Rashad Bateman's actually going to play with
healthy.
Lamar now. He's going to play with Lamar now.
Dobbins is back. I don't think it's too insane, but like it's something.
Isaiah Likely. I mean, that team does not give a shit about receiver outside of wide receiver 1. And Bateman is like the kind of receiver
that will work with Lamar.
I don't think they've had a receiver like Bateman since I've been alive. Like with the skill set that he has. And I think that's going to work really well with Lamar. And I think it's going to open up their passing game a lot more. Because a lot of people have been critical about Lamar. And let's be honest, the Ravens have not given him the best passing options at the receiver position throughout his career. I think Bateman's that first wide receiver they're throwing. Like Hollywood Brown, don't even get me started. But Bateman is that guy that like I think will truly open up Lamar as a passer. And we saw a lot of glimpses of it early in the season last year. And I think it's fully going to go all out once the season starts. And I've got the Ravens at 12-5. I don't know about you, Kurt.
Yeah, I have them at 12-5 as well. I completely agree. I think Lamar Jackson, very solid chance of winning MVP again. I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about him. And like you said, with the receiving core, how it got a lot better. This Ravens team, it's just, you look at the injuries, and I with the 2018, 2019 Commanders or Redskins, whatever you want to call it, I feel the same way. We went through like 25 players in IR that year. And obviously, I think all of us have had a team who's experienced just a multitude of injuries. And it's just so demoralizing when you're on your third string on multiple positions. They are finally healthy. And the fact that they won 8 games regarding all of that was miraculous in itself. John Harbaugh, obviously, we can praise him. He's won Coach of the Year in the past. So I think they'll win the division.
Sully, would you have the Bengals at?
12-5.
So we all just have them at like the same records, just one win apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Taking a quick break to announce our new sportsbook partner for the NFL season, it's MyBookie. If you're looking to place some wagers on player props or some NFL games, click the link in our bio and use promo code ASC Sports to double your first deposit up to $1,000. Use code ASC Sports and go win some money.
All right, last one. We got did we do all the AFC?
No, we got the AFC West.
AFC West.
And then we got the whole NFC still.
Ugh. Yeah.
And the playoffs and the awards. Guys, we doing it all.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
This division is hell.
I'm ready.
Last place, I got the Broncos.
Raiders.
I also have the Raiders.
Got the Broncos at 7-10.
Oh,
botch.
That is no shot. Ugh.
Raiders 9-8.
I have the Raiders at 8-9.
Not a Broncos guy, Kurt?
No, I'm not. I think
Can
the
you
Raiders.
explain your stance?
The Broncos, to me, obviously everyone's going to look at Russell Wilson. I think a lot of people's reasoning is when Russell Wilson gets awarded just a lot better roster, it's going to be intriguing to see what he does. And this Broncos team, it seemed like the perfect fit. Had a really solid roster, didn't have a good quarterback. Kind of think the roster is overrated in a way. I think a lot of people are thinking it's like an 11 or 12 win team. Like Colin Cowherd thinks that the Broncos are the second best team in the league. And I'm like, you're smoking so much fucking crack.
That guy literally wakes up and smokes crack every day.
And yeah, I think that on paper, this Broncos team should do better, but obviously we run into instances, and I don't want to use this logic as the only reason why I'm backing it up, but we obviously have those unexpected teams that on paper should do really well, and then come the actual season, very underperform. And to me, it just screams that it's Broncos team. Russell Wilson, I think you guys will disagree, but I don't think, obviously they went 7-10 last year. I don't think Russell Wilson.
You're literally smoking so much crack if you say he doesn't change this team by 4 wins. Russell Wilson I think Russell Wilson's the most underrated quarterback in the league.
It's cool.
At this moment,
he's 33 years old.
It's cool.
He's in his prime.
He got a bag this morning.
Guys did. Like, people forget about Russell Wilson, man, because he fucking broke his finger hitting someone in the helmet. It's a freak injury. The guy's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. I'm not disputing that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Kurt, where would you put him? Where would you put him in your QB rankings? Like, who's he around? Because you must obviously not be as high on him as us.
I put him at like 8.
And you don't think a team is more than 7 wins with a top 8 quarterback?
Maybe they do. I just don't think it's going to happen this year. And I think the Raiders are much better.
Look, no offense, but the Vikings have an equivalent-esque roster to the Broncos, but their quarterback is way worse. And I'm assuring you that you have the Vikings.
The Vikings are fucking elite. Much better than the Broncos.
I also am high on the Vikings.
I'm very high on the Vikings.
And I will say I have them at the same exact record as I have the Broncos, but the reason being is that the Broncos are in the fucking AFC West. That's the only reason why they're at the same rate.
And because the Vikings are better.
No.
I think the Broncos are going to have an unbelievable offense.
Okay. Sully, do you want to talk about the Raiders together?
I mean, Raiders is pretty simple to me. Their offensive line is pretty shitty.
Horrible.
But their skill positions are very, very good, obviously. Hunter Renfrow as like your third option in offense is very good. The guy's always open. They have the best wide receiver in the league with Devontae Adams. Darren Waller is good, even though I talked about him in the last episode being a little bit inconsistent, but he's still a great player. Their offense, I don't think is going to be, obviously we said their offensive line sucks, which is, maybe the most important part of a team besides the quarterback. But I'm not worried about that too much. This defense is pretty bad. And the coaching, I don't even who is their head coach. They
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, and they got rid of that guy that everyone loved,
Rick Bisaccia.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have them at 9-8. I still think they're going to be good. It's a talented team, but being in the AFC West, I have them going 2-4 in the division, and 9 wins isn't going to make it to the playoffs in the AFC. So
yeah, I mean, I have them at 8-9. It's just. I'm not high in this defense outside of Max Crosby and Chandler Jones as a pass rush duo. I think those two are the best pass rush duo probably in the NFL. But outside of that, their defense is really questionable. It was questionable all of last year, and they just let guys go this offseason. Like during cutdown day, they just like traded Trayvon Mullen for nothing. When he's a solid corner. And then this offense, I mean, you've got Derek Carr and those 3 receiving weapons that are nice, but their running back group, I mean, we'll see how they perform with that god-awful offensive line, but the receiving weapons probably won't matter if Derek Carr is going to be under pressure 80 million times a game. So,
hey, that's what we said about Burrow last year, and look how that turned out.
Exactly. That's a good point. I understand that. But do you trust Josh McDaniels?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you want me to bring up the receipts?
I don't think it'll be that bad.
To be fair, who trusted Zach Taylor going into last year?
Exactly.
But my point being is that.
But one of them was in the AFC North.
I was just about to say that.
West.
I was just about to say that. I still think they're going to get 9 wins in the AFC West. That's a good season. But it's not going to be enough. I think the other teams are better.
All right.
That's what it comes down to.
Sully, do you have the Broncos in third?
Yeah. At 10-7.
I have them at 10-7 also. This team just has too much talent. It's just too much.
Not enough talent, sadly. No, I'm kidding.
They've got. I think Patrick Surtain is going to be one of the best players, best corners. He's going to jump in the top 3. I think by the end of this year. And his offense, I think it'll start slow, but it's going to be humming by the end of the year.
That's Russell Wilson. That's not his thing, though.
What's his thing?
His thing is humming in the beginning of the year.
That's true. That's true. That's fair.
They might not mix up now. They might be the worst team in the league. No, I think it's going to be a great offense. I think it's going to be one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, I have the Raiders in third place. I think I have them at 10-7. Yeah, I have them at 10-7. Would you guys have them at 9-8? So only one game better.
Sam had them at 8 and 9. I had them at 9 and 8.
Yeah, I just think the skill positions they have are so good. Obviously, we can look at offensive line defensively, but when you have Devontae Adams into the picture on a Raiders team that, it wasn't good last year, but it definitely wasn't terrible. You bring him to the mix, obviously, Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and I think Derek Carr, we all agree, is severely underrated. All depends on how Josh McDaniels does at the helm. I don't think he'll be too bad. 10 wins.
He's going to suck.
Okay. All right.
Worst head coach ever.
Second place. Got the Chiefs.
I also have the Chiefs. Wow. All of us have the Chiefs.
I have the Chiefs at 11-6 as well.
I have them at 12-5.
You knew me and Kurt were going to. I originally had them at 12-5 and I changed it to 11-6.
You guys have heard me talk up the Chargers the entire offseason.
I know, but it's just never going to. I'm
always crazy high on them last year.
I'm always going to pick the Chargers.
But it's like
no matter what it is.
It's like the girl in high school that was like a 4, and then now in college they're like a 10. Me and Sully saw the 4, and we thought in that in Justin Herbert.
That's
You're
true.
just joining the train now.
No,
So
I
it's
joined
like,
it last year, but okay.
No hate. You can always jump on the train.
Exactly, but it's like
If she's a 10, she's a 10. You got to
All right,
respect
I'm
it.
gonna roll with my Bengals train then for the entire time.
Yeah, you were a Bengals supporter.
like Burrow's like a 9. He's not a 10.
Nah,
Yeah.
Burrow's hot, man.
He's missing something.
Don't disrespect that.
It's like you'd go on a date with them, but it's just missing one thing you can't rock.
No.
You go on a date with Burrow, but you're always thinking about Herbert in the back of your head.
Exactly. But yeah, this Chiefs team, like, it's fucking Patrick Mahomes. That's all.
Yeah,
that's
it's pretty much what it comes down to. It's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and that's pretty much it. I think a lot of people think they're going to do worse than what we have them at, but
if they think that, they're crazy. If you think this Chiefs team is getting anything lower than 11 wins, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Question for you guys: what would they be if they still had Tyreek Hill?
12-5.
Would they win the division if they had Tyreek?
It'd be close. Be closer.
Yeah.
Oh, closer. All right, so we all have the Chargers at first. I have them at 14-3.
What the fuck?
I have them at 13-4.
I have them at 12-5.
I think he's the best team in the league. Like roster wise, I think he's had the best roster on paper in the NFL. I trust this coaching staff a lot. The only thing that's going to hold this offense back is their offensive coordinator, who was not unleashing Herbert whatsoever last year.
I don't know who the rest he is.
Joe Lombardi. He's coaching Justin Herbert like he's Drew Brees.
Is he related to Michael Lombardi?
I fucking no idea. I hope not. But if he
Vince Lombardi,
Justin,
that's got to be a family.
You would hope. But you got to unlock Justin Herbert because that man is special. I think by the end of the season, he will be in the conversation with Patrick Mahomes for best quarterback in the league.
He already is the best.
I mean, I think he's going to jump Aaron Rodgers, and by the end of the year, and he will be very much in contention for that spot. I mean, there's just no holes on this team aside from right tackle, and like that's all I could think of. Like that's really it. This team is just they added Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Zion Johnson. It's just a bunch of really great players. All the D linemen. I mean, this whole team, this roster from top to bottom is just amazing, and I just trust it a lot. And I said that last year, but maybe it's not the best idea to ever trust the Chargers, but I trust them a lot.
I'm in the same boat, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't met the worst record, but 12-5. I mean, I think they're
good. It's still good.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're going to be very good.
Exactly.
Very good team.
All right. Done with the AFC.